Welcome. This is October 1st, 2025. I can't believe where the time has gone. So, in honor of October, I have changed out the background here, and this is really hard to do. I've changed out the background to some Halloween because I only do 2 videos a month typically, so yeah, I figured I'd put the Halloween out and you could see it. So let me tell you what these are. This one right here, yeah, right there, the round one, is Halloween Resurrection by Lone Elm Lane. This one right here, the little pillow, the witch, I call this the musical witch. That is from a Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition, and that one is from 2017, 2018. If you want to know for sure, let me know and I'll look it up. And then this is Frankie the Thinker, and that's Night to Dismember, and those are both by Glendon Place. Night to Dismember is a special piece because it is the only one that I have ever been able to start and finish on a 25 count. And the reason I did that is because it's mainly block stitching. Okay, so would you like to see the whips? Hopefully I have before pictures. This last 2 weeks has just been crazy, and I may have to go back into the last video to get some. Not sure, but we will have before pictures somewhere. So this first one is one that I stitch typically when I'm watching football. This is Life Support. The artist is Guiseppi Miconi. Charted by Stitchng Moon Designs. Her shop is currently closed. If she opens back up, I'll let you know. And I'm just working on the black. So you can see I have been filling in here. I had somewhere around here maybe. I did all this, something like that. So here's the before and after of this section. So I don't have too much more black to do. So I'll bring it up to here, and then there's a section in here that is solid, and I think this is mostly solid right in through here. And after that, it goes into, you know, where you have to count for the leaves and stuff like that. So I will go back up and start at the top and work my way down at that point. So let me show you a full size, because this is super long, of the before and after. Now that one was at 30, I didn't tell you the fabric. I need to stop and remember this. That was at 38.91%, and it's now 42.19. And this fabric is a half of a piece from Color and Cotton, and this is 20 count Aquarius Aida. Okay, the next one, I think I told you I was going to pull this one out. So this next one is One for Sorrow. It's one of only 2 I have left by, well, 2 that I have by Heaven and Earth. And this one was, excuse me, this one was started in 2022. Actually, it was started on it was started between Christmas and New Year's, so it actually started 2021. This is artwork by Stephanie Pui-Mun Law. And, well, here, we'll do. So here's where it is. So I came across here, and I hit the end. And if you can see this, I did a really bad job measuring where to start. And then I was done with these light colors, and I came down and filled in some of these dark colors. So I'll put a picture above my head here of where it was before. So this is on a 20 count even weave, and this one was at, let me check my notes here. This one was at 18.81%, and it's now at 20.07%. My goal when I picked this up was to hit 20% by the end of the year and to reach this corner. So I did that. Amazing, right? This next one is Masquerade. I restarted it this year, the end of last year. It's a restart. I am stitching this on a piece of 16 count because there's just so much confetti in here that I decided I was not dealing with the higher count. And I'm currently outlining all the 939, and I worked in this section over here. So I can't get my arm. So this section here. So here's a before. So this is on a 16 count Aida that I dyed myself. I don't think I told you, this is artwork by Christopher Lovell, charted by UnconventionalXStitch. And yeah, I was so tempted to go up here and finish this top, get the moon started up here. And I thought, no, this is going to annoy me that I only have this partially stitched across this page. So I decided I would go ahead and finish. And you can see I even have a strand where I didn't get a chance to finish that. So yeah, that's that one. The next one I pulled out was Strength. And I started working, Strength is artwork by Nicole Payne. Oh my goodness, brain. Charted by UnconventionalXStitch. I'm stitching this on 18 count, very light pewter. And here's the section I was working on. So I had started filling in this stuff right in through here. And then I realized that I had come across and I could get the last of this. And since I had limited stitching time, I decided to go for filling in the black and the browns. I think you can see the color variation there. So there is some more, there's some more in through here. I'm not sure what's going on with my voice, sorry guys. But yeah, I'm loving her. So this is, I hope I have a picture of the before. If so, that's where this section was. This was at 42.86%, and it's now at 43.62%. And I do know I have a before and after of the entire piece. So I'll put the before here and the after here. And I love every time I get to pick that one up. And after that, I was itching for a piece that I started not long ago. This is Children of the Forest. This is by Emily Figenschuh. I think is how I pronounced her name. Figenschuh? Yeah, Figenschuh. This is charted by UnconventionalXStitch. I am stitching this on 18 count that I dyed myself. And here we go. So this one, you know, this is really easy to see when I'm stitching, but for some reason the lighting in here makes this really difficult. Let's see. Okay, so right here is the end of where I was. So everything on this side is new. Which way gets the best lighting? Maybe that way? So here's the before. And this one was at 4.68%. It's now at 5.11%. And yeah, I wish I could just get, it's beautiful, isn't it gorgeous? I love the bird and the flowers and all those little buds. It just, there's always something to see as I'm stitching this, because even though I'm technically in background, it's, yeah. So, yep, that was that one. And then I moved on to my focus piece. And this is Brothers. The artwork is by Janka Ladikova, charted by Thread Geeks. And I feel like no matter how much I work on this, it doesn't get anywhere. And maybe you can see what I mean. So here's where it is. So last time you saw it, I had worked really on the head of the horse, and I saw progress. But every time I work over here on the man, I don't see that much progress. And I think it's the lighter colors. So this time what I did is I filled in his face, finished his hair. I need to figure out what I did here. I'm removing the background, so I think I removed some that was background, but maybe is still part of his hair. I filled in most of his back. I did fill in a little bit more over here in this arm, and then I started filling in, I added more up here, and I started filling in around the mane that is on his shoulder. So here's the before, and this was at 80. Now this is not accurate because I've removed the background, And since I'm removing the background as I go, it's not accurate, but this will give you an idea. I was at 80.88%. I'm now at 88.25%. So I love how it looks. It just seems like it takes forever to stitch. Now his back, I wanted some of a more of an organic, because what happens is the colors from his back are also what's in the background. So if I brought this all the way down, it would be very squared off. And so I'm just kind of trying to give it kind of an organic feel. If you look, let me put that picture back up. If you look at the background, it gives it almost a watercolor effect, the way the colors kind of blend in the background. And so I thought if I did, let me bring this in closer. If I kind of gave it that uneven but rounded bottom here, it would honor that idea of the watercolor. I'm really happy with it. I love it. I'm stitching this on 18 count jade by Picture This Plus. It's just a fabric that I had, and I thought the background would look really nice. So yeah, it's I can't wait for this to be done. I have approximately, now I haven't I eliminated all the winter white from up here, but there could still be a lot of colors around the mane that I haven't zeroed out. And so I may not have as many, but it looks like I have about 5,500 stitches left. And so hopefully, this will be done by the next time I see you. So that's that. So before I talk about life, let me do plans. So my plans, I kind of started, I want to finish Brothers. Once Brothers is finished, my new focus piece, until it's finished, is Only the Lonely. So this is Only the Lonely. It's artwork by Adrian Borda, charted by UnconventionalXStitch. And just to let you know where it is, that's where it currently is. Wow, the colors are actually popping today. That's really what it looks like. I'm still having trouble with how to get the lighting right on this new camera. So that's where it is, and I will finish this year. So I can't wait to pick this back up again. I love working on this. There's a lot of confetti, but because I work, you can see kind of down here, I'm all over. I pick a color and I work kind of cross country within that page or within that section. So sometimes it's a page, for instance on this one. Sometimes it's just what's in my hoop, and I'll kind of go cross country. So because there's a lot of confetti, block by block, because I'm working in pages, it's not so bad. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun to work on. So that one is that. And then what I've decided to do I'm going to change things up. So my football stitching, I'm going to put life support away for a while, and I'm going to bring out my crochet, because I've been leaving my crochet out, and whenever I have a few minutes, I pick it up and work on it, and it's progressing. There's not enough in there to really, there's nothing that looks much different from the last time I showed it to you. So I'm going to start crocheting while I'm watching football. That still keeps my hands busy. It was super cold when I started that, because I don't like to crochet when it's hot. So it was super cold. I had the windows shut. I was disappointed I had to close the windows. And then it got hot, and it's been hot ever since. And so I just, in my mind, it's still summer. It's not October. And so, but I realize it is getting to that weather. And when the weather changes again, it's going to change suddenly. It's going to change quickly, and it's not going back to warm. So I will put life support away for a while. And then what I'm going to do is, on the days that I'm not working on my focus piece, I'm going to spin a wheel. Now I alluded to it last time that I can show you in here. So I don't know if you can read this, it's in pencil. I took each of my whips and I arbitrarily picked a percentage that I'd like to reach by the end of the year. And yeah, that's really hard to read, maybe that. And so what I'm doing is I put all of those in a wheel. And instead of the percentages, and you know, I put the stitch count that I want to reach to make that percentage. So the first one, and I spun so I could explain this to you. I spun for this weekend, and the first one I spun was Grackles. So this is Grackles. Well, let me go here. This is Grackles. It's artwork by Omar Ryan. It was charted by Heaven Earth Designs. She doesn't chart his work anymore. You can find his work charted by UnconventionalXStitch, but as far as I know, she hasn't charted this one. So this is where it is. I started this in January of 2022. Let's see if I can get me and the piece in. Not really. There we go. And you can see I haven't even finished the whole top row. So I played around with different percentages, and one of the ones I picked out was, let's get to 20%. 20% would have been almost 18,000 stitches. And I went, yeah, that's not happening in the last 2 months of the year. So I've reduced it. This is currently at 14.38%. I want to reach 16%. So stitch count wise, I'm at 38.816, and I need to reach 43,200. So that's not bad. I put this on the wheel. I will let the wheel spin, and then once one of my projects hits the goal that I arbitrarily selected for it, then I will take it off the wheel. And that way even though I've touched everything this year, that will allow me to see real progress at the end of the year on each one. So that's what I'm doing. So now you know I'm working on Brothers for the rest of this week. This weekend I will work on Grackles, and when I'm watching football I will be crocheting. So hopefully there'll be some crochet to show you. So life update. Yes, for those of you who wondered, I did get to have my grandson. It turned out Dad had a business event. Mom was chaperoning a band thing, I think it was, or they had Festival of the Bands, and she offered to do that. And so while my grandson asked if he could spend the night on that Friday, they were both tied up on Saturday. Now, my grandson could have gone to the Festival of the Bands, but he came here instead. So yes, dude got to spend time with me. My granddaughter also came down with her mom, and the three of us went to a concert. I didn't tell you who the concert was because I just thought I would tell you later. We went to see Xenadelphia. I always say her name wrong. Her name is Xena. She grew up in Philadelphia. She goes by Xenadelphia. And she's very young. She made a comment in her show that she was in college in 2022. So that tells you this is a very young girl. And I wrote down a quote. I was very impressed with her. She has an amazing range vocally. She also touches on very personal subjects. And so I wrote down a quote because I didn't want to misquote her. And she said, if I'm lucky enough to do music for a living, I might as well say something important. And that really summed up who she is. She had a song that was personal to her, but she hoped other people could feel it. That was about body image, about accepting who you are, where you are. She had one, it's actually my granddaughter's favorite song. When she was young, she was told, you need to be basically ladylike. I'm going to paraphrase. Girls should not be loud. Girls should be this. Girls should be that. And she had one person say, if you want to be loud, be loud. If you want to do music, do music. Whatever you want to do, be you. Be your authentic self, and don't let anybody tell you to be quiet. And so there was a song about that. And to know that in this day and age, we still have girls being told, you need to be quiet, you need to be ladylike, you need to... I'm just flabbergasted. But her music, while she started off with kind of a pop sound, when she realized that she was going to be able to make this a business, she was going to be able to do this for a living, she then started writing her own music as this, as having meaning, as saying something about life and she's a female, and so a lot of hers would be from female point of view, but anybody could listen, you know, if it's body size, if it's body image, you don't have to be male or female. It could be anybody. So yeah, I was really impressed with her. I enjoyed it a great deal. And then my granddaughter, so that was on a Wednesday, and so then she came back here afterwards, and she stayed here till Saturday. So we had a really good time. Yeah, so that's the highlights of my last couple weeks. I tend to be, I haven't really spoken this too much. I have a friend here who is suffering from dementia, and so I spend a lot of time kind of helping her out. I struggle to understand just how difficult life is for her. She can remember everything from her childhood and raising her children and places she's traveled and her mother and her grandparents, but she can't remember something from 2 minutes ago. So she can't watch a movie because she can't keep track of it. She can't read a book because she gets through the first sentence. By the second sentence, she's lost. She can't watch a TV show. Everything is so short, and so she is desperate to socialize, and because that's the only thing she can really do that doesn't drive her crazy. If she decides to clean something, she forgets if she's already cleaned it. So let's say you go in the bathroom and you start at one corner and then you turn around and go, did I clean that? And so she gets in these vicious circles where she can't remember what she's done. So I do spend a lot of time with her, and she does well. She lives on her own. Granted, she lives in this building, and there are a lot of people that kind of look out for her and take care of her and that kind of thing. But yeah, that takes up a good amount of my time. I enjoy her company, but there are times I kind of have to hide away if I want to be alone. So yeah, so we're going into October, we're going into fall. Doesn't feel like it today. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I will be back in 2 weeks. We're going to see if I can have a finish to show you. And yeah, I guess that's about all I have for you. So I will say goodbye and wish you a happy 2 weeks. Take care.